Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Tony and Michael podcast. We're
I
at
like
it.
that music intro.
It's cool, isn't it?
That's nice.
Yeah. So I want to give everybody's working from home, and they have to participate in these Zoom meetings with the people at work. It's kind of a stressful thing to do it from home because you want to be relaxed and stuff. So I have a tip for people to enjoy it better.
Oh, people need tips on this. This is going to be helpful.
So when you're drinking your coffee during the Zoom meeting, it doesn't have to be coffee. It can be whatever you want it to be. It can be your favorite beverage, and then all you have to do is before you take a sip, you blow on it like you're blowing on hot tea. Then you take a sip. Everybody will say, "Oh, he's drinking hot tea. That's nice."
That is nice. Do you have any wine over there?
I do.
No, you don't.
My son, my oldest son's name is Josh, so of course I always have a bottle on hand in case he comes home.
Is that the Josh Legacy by any chance?
This is the Merlot. I was gonna buy Merlot, but the Merlot is more expensive, so I bought the Merlot.
Nice. I guess Josh should probably be a sponsor of the show. We got to, if you're watching or listening to our show, we'd love an introduction to
Wow.
Josh. Josh?
We could bring him in as a guest from. He lives in Norway in Oslo.
Josh does?
Yeah.
Oh, that's your Josh. I'm talking about the Josh who makes the wine.
Well, this is why I have this one because it reminds me of my son. But we bring him in for like a little introduction and some info about Oslo.
Be nice. It was
Now
in Oslo, Norway. My goodness.
So in the summer over there, I'm sorry, in the winter, the sun goes down at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or something. Who wants that?
Crazy. I can't even imagine. I was in Alaska once and walking back from some restaurant. It was like 10:30 at night, walking back to a hotel, and it was light out. Like, this is bizarre.
Crazy, isn't it?
I guess it's just a reminder if you kind of get used to whatever your surroundings are. So outside of your surroundings or your comfort zone, like we talked about, it's just strange and new. But it's fun. That's where life is.
So at the last episode, I was wearing my oyster bone T-shirt, and
I think I remember that.
some people thought it was too much promotion of my own band. So I'm not going to wear the shirt anymore. So I don't want to do anything about oyster bone.
Oh, that's a good idea. I got a bunch of calls on that actually. Now I wear your shirt because it's not my band.
Right,
Wouldn't be a self-promotion, then just be a promotion.
right.
I got a few calls that's saying, hey, your friend Tony is not really promoting himself as much as he could and should be during your podcast. So I
Right.
heard
So,
that from several people.
so what I was thinking, I got the oyster bone thing. I have this, but then we can also do the real estate thing again.
For all your real estate needs in the Tampa area.
Yeah. But if somebody
Yeah.
says way too much, they say, "Don't you have something else that you can self-promote?" Well, just in case, I do.
Oh, of course. Oh,
They can go to.
I've been a fan. I've been a fan of that company for coming up on 40 years, I think.
People can go to you. They can go to TonyCabral.com and it goes right to YouTube to my channel. They can watch some videos of my comedy, and they will laugh a little bit, I'm sure, or maybe a lot.
And if they're watching this, they're probably already at YouTube, so it's an easy
Easy
little move there.
transition, yeah.
Really, it reminds me that I really have to start bringing it to this podcast. I got to get some ease behind me and some stuff going on because I'm feeling certainly developing all the revenue for this company.
So one of the things I wanted to ask you about, because I know you're a big baseball fan,
Oh yeah,
is what's your take on this thing where the Major League Baseball is moving the All-Star game from Atlanta to Colorado?
yeah. It's interesting. I think it looks like it's a political move, and it looks like because it's in the wake of a big political upheaval going on in Atlanta, Georgia. I think what Major League Baseball doing is just self-preservation because they looked at this and said, what we really can't have for the All-Star game, because the viewership to the All-Star game are all the stars. And if any of them decide to boycott the game as an individual and that wave starts to go and they start losing players to play, the All-Star is in trouble. So I think they preempted that as a possibility. but to save themselves and moved it to Colorado. They removed the potential for any of the players boycotting it. And then a successful All-Star game with all the revenues involved. It looked like a political move. I don't really think it was. Atlanta's going to lose a lot of revenue. That's for sure. Yeah. Hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue from moving the game.
So they're really punishing the fans in Atlanta and the local businesses, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't think that sports should be involved in politics.
Agreed.
They can have an opinion on politics just like I do, but they don't have to be, making. That's just my opinion. I don't think it's a good move. It's a dumb move. I mean, if you look at some of the stuff that's going on in sports because of certain political things, it's costing a lot of viewership.
Yeah.
A lot of viewership. It's amazing. So maybe I shouldn't keep promoting my band and my comedy and my real estate because maybe people won't view this anymore. What am I kidding? Of course they will.
That's when you say, if they don't like my band and my business, I don't want to watch my podcast anyway.
If you don't like my band.
So we are really becoming a very techie podcast. We're using all the current sound effects.
So I have a good friend that lives in Pompano Beach, Florida. And he's really, really good with wordplay. If you give him a word, he comes up with 15 different things you can do with that word. It makes it. So one day he says, my opinion of Oyster Bone Band is if you don't like Oyster Bone, you can go shuck yourself. Shuck.
I see a new T-shirt coming.
Yeah. See this?
Oyster Bone, shuck you.
This is Oyster Bone. And the name of the CD is Unshucked.
Oh, that's funny.
Wow.
That is awesome.
So what else is going on up there? I was talking to my sister. We had a lot of fun with this conversation because she said, hey, I saw some news thing about Manatee having some kind of water problem or something. It's Manatee,
where?
Manatee County in Florida.
Oh.
So then we started talking about it because, she lives in Hudson, and you live in Worcester. But if I asked her, where do you live? She'd say Hudson, Mass. She would never say Middlesex County.
Correct.
You would never say I live in Worcester County. You say I live in Worcester.
Right.
We're in Florida, especially for the people that are natives. They always talk about counties. I live in Pasco. I live in Pinellas. I live in Hillsborough. I live in Manatee. They always go by the counties like it's a state within a state or something.
Isn't that funny?
It is funny, yeah. I never heard
My
that.
daughter lived in New Jersey. My daughter lived in New Jersey for a bunch of years, and they did the same thing there. It's all about counties. Where do you live in? I'm in Mammoth County. And I'm like, give me a town.
They do that in Jersey too?
Yeah.
So I was telling my sister.
It was confusing to me.
I was telling my sister, I really feel like I'm missing going to Suffolk. I want to go to Suffolk again. She goes, Suffolk? Where's that? I says, Suffolk County, where Boston is. So she started laughing. People don't refer to their counties in most states, I don't think.
I happen to know this little bit of trivia. Massachusetts has 14 counties.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow. Did you really count the counties?
No, I just know that there's 14, but I don't think I could name half of them, to be honest with you.
See what I mean?
What county do you live in Florida?
Pinellas.
Pinellas County.
Yeah.
So do you say that, or do you just say I live in the Tampa area?
Yeah, Tampa Bay area. But Tampa Bay is 6 counties altogether is called the Tampa Bay area. But I tell people, I'm between Tampa and Clearwater. So if I say the town I live in is Oldsmar, but nobody knows what that is. So I say if I'm in Tampa, they know, the region.
So Tampa Bay area is comprised by 6 counties.
Yeah, Pasco, Pinellas, Hillsborough, Manatee, Sarasota, and
Oh, it'll leave us hanging.
which one did I say? Oh, Polk.
Oh, didn't leave us hanging.
Might be Polk. I forget. I know the 6 of them.
Although, quite frankly, as a realtor, I'm not surprised that you know all that detail. That's cool.
Oh, I don't want to go to all of them.
That's interesting. I wonder how that gets decided. Like, lead with counties versus towns, because I've never lived in it. It wasn't about what town are you in.
So,
Like the highways. Like my friend Joe's out in California. They talk about taking the 405 to the something. It's always the versus. I never
Yeah.
say that. I'm going to take the 90 to the 128. The.
That's why when somebody says, yeah, I'm gonna get on the 19, which is a road here in Pinellas County, it goes to all of Florida. I know they're from California if they say the 19.
The 19.
Yeah, nobody
It
would.
said, hey, 19. Hey, 19. That'd be different.
Yeah, there'd be a little bit of a.
Now I got that song in my head. Oh, what a great song that is.
So I was expecting you today to have a still face logo to show up.
Well, it's not official yet. So I suspect, I think that probably it's going to be this Tuesday.
Oh.
Where there's going to be a big box on the porch delivered from discmakers.com. There's a sponsor right there. You just made discmakers.com.
So
DISC, Disc Makers. So we got a bunch of CDs coming and
so the guy that I saw at that Ray Billing show, he says that the Portuguese from the Azores, I think, going to go into the sun because the Americans went to the moon. So they want to be outdone. So they said, we're going to go to the sun. I says, you can't go to the sun, man. You'll get burned up. He says, we're not stupid. We're going at night. We're not stupid. We're going at night.
Or we're not stupid. We're going at night. Wah, wah, wah.
Wow. All right, let's move on.
I remember you telling me the story about the beginning of Oyster Bone because you had a friend. Was it the right story? A friend who, like, I used to play in high school and I don't do much anymore. You're like, well, let's get together. And then it just kind of started like that. Am I have this right? Am I thinking the right story?
Well, I was working at a company, we had the cubicle stuff. And there was two guys at the cubicle next to me. I knew them, I'd been there for a few months. And one of them said, yeah, I took some guitar lessons. I don't even know how to play one song from start to finish. The other one said, well, you like me, I took some bass lessons and I know some scales, but I don't really know a lot of songs either. So I heard that and I said, wow, I hadn't played in the band for like years. So I said, hey, what are you guys doing Thursday night after work? I said, why? I says, bring your guitar and your amp to my house, bring your bass and your amp to my house, and before you leave, we'll know how to play one song from start to finish. Well, they thought I was just being joking around because I always joke, so, they weren't sure.
Right.
But I said, no, I'm serious, bring it. So they came over. And I figured out what kind of chords John knew how to play, if he knew how to play bar chords or whatever, so he did. So I said, okay, so we're going to be playing this progression here, and I showed him what the chords were, and he's playing along with me. And then I showed Tony the thing on the bass with, what to do with the thing, and he did it. So we did that for a while, and I started making up lyrics on the spot of one of the guys that we work with, because he was kind of a turkey. So we were making fun of him. I was making lyrics that made fun of him, and they were laughing. And after we did that for a while, I said, okay, now you guys get this thing pretty good, so I'm going to, instead of singing about Richard, I'm going to sing the actual lyrics to this song. And I started singing Hey Joe by Hendrix.
Wow.
So we're playing it, but then this time I put a little stuff, that kind of stuff. I started adding some stuff, and they're like, whoa, they actually stopped because they said, we're playing a song? I said, yeah. I said, today we learned 1, then we learned 3, then 5, then 10. Before you know, we'll be doing gigs.
And this was the infancy of what became Oyster Bone. Those guys are still in the band?
No, that band, we ended up calling it the Tonal Dependency, tonal.
Oh, I remember that name. That's a clever name.
Yeah, so then we did that. We had a guy that worked with us that wanted to be a singer with us. But he was more interested in coming in with his own lyrics, and we'd have to put music to it. And he was not really a fun guy to be with in the band. So we ended up.
Let me get this straight. The singer was the problem? That's shocking.
Oh, I know.
This is why I played an instrumental band.
Right, so being an instrumental band, you really appreciate this. So, we'd be at rehearsal. Because after a while, I met Adrian, who was our drummer. Because he was, our bass player was having a birthday party. He says, hey, bring a guitar. My friend's coming over with the drums. Maybe we can play some stuff. So that guy, Adrian, is, I call him the happiest drummer in the world. He's always smiling ear to ear. And just a great guy. So then we formed the band, and then when we got rid of the singer that was not the right singer, we didn't have a name anymore. So one time I was always the first one to get to a rehearsal. But one time I was late, and Adrian said, how come you're late? You're always the first one. Why are you here late today? I says, I had to go to the seafood store. He said, seafood store? Why? I says, well, because last night I bought a dozen oysters, and 3 of them didn't work. He said, what does that mean? I says, the oyster bone, He goes, oh, that's a good name for a band. with the name.
Interesting. Well, we just lost 4 more viewers, but that's all right. We'll get them back.
I know sometimes people ask us, "Hey man, that's a good name for a band. Where'd you guys get that name?" I said, "You sure you want to know?" Especially if the guy's with his wife or something, he wants to know how we got the name for the band. I said, "I don't know if I'm gonna tell you." He said, "No, go ahead, tell me."
I could tell you.
I tell that story, and I always think it's funny. But
All shucked up.
My wife never liked the name of the band because I don't know.
There was implications. Right. Oh my.
You know what that thing is called? Sad trombone.
No. What's a sad trombone?
That's what the name of it. Yeah.
It's a good name for a song.
This one I like because every time I do that, I have to do the
You can tell.
See, look, you can't do it without the fist bump. Try it.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah, let's try it again.
Do it again.
Yeah. Well, you're all the way up in Massachusetts, so it's like a delayed reaction.
I feel like, who was that? Judd Nelson in The Breakfast Club?
Oh, yeah.
What a great movie.
Ah.
Oh,
So the other night I went for a ride to the beach, Clearwater Beach. And it's, what do you call it? It's spring break still. It was packed, man. I couldn't find a parking spot. And then I was trying to get, I went for a walk. I finally found a parking spot, and I went for a walk on the beach and stuff, and trying to find something to eat. But I forgot my mask in the car, so I couldn't go anywhere to eat. But nobody on the beach was wearing a mask. And when I went to that Greg Billings show, there was nobody wearing masks at all. There's probably 3,000 people there. Nobody had masks on.
any kind of distancing or just crowd
No.
on top of each other, no masks?
Shoulder to shoulder, yeah.
Wow. Well, that's a nice promotion. Greg Billings, I'd never heard of this guy or the band. I talked to you the night you were on your way there, so I got to my destination and did a little search for Greg Billings, and I heard Okeechobee Whiskey.
Yeah.
Just cool southern tinged rock, just fun stuff.
There's one song called Swamp Woman. That's pretty good. Were
they the only band? Was there a warm-up band?
No, it was them. That's it.
Wow.
They're good, man. They're a good band.
Bet. Like, was it 7:30 to 9:30 or something like that?
No, it's like 8 to 11 or something.
Oh wow. Did they take an intermission or a break and come back, or?
No, he said no breaks because and then he said something like, we don't get paid to play here. We only get tips and the sales from the T-shirts. So help us out. He says, no, I'm just kidding. He gets paid, of course, but he was doing a self-promotion. Everybody does it.
How many people in the band?
Oh boy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 6, maybe 5.
That's southern rock stuff. A lot of people.
So the keyboard player and the drummer were in the back part of the stage. When my friend says, "Hey man, they got 2 girls. The drummer and the keyboard player are girls, because they got the long hair and stuff." And I've seen the band many times. He never had. I says, "Those aren't girls. Those are guys." He said, "No, those are girls. No, they're guys." So I walked up close to the stage and took a picture of both of them, and I came back and showed it to him. I said, "See these girls that you're talking about? You show you the girls?" He says, "No, they're not girls." I said, "Okay, just because they have long hair."
All right then.
Girl.
All right then.
This is not 1970, where if you're a girl, if you have long hair, you're a girl.
No, I think in the 70s, all the musicians had long hair.
Yeah.
Hair. Outlaw. I'm thinking about the Outlaws, Leonard Skinner, Allman Brothers. A lot of hair.
A lot of hair, yeah.
You had to.
I had a lot of hair in the 70s when I played in the band. I had an afro.
I saw a picture of that.
Because I used to iron my hair. I had long hair, but I had to iron it because you didn't put it on the iron board and try to straighten it out. And then all of a sudden, for some reason, everybody started getting these permanents, perms.
Oh yeah.
And they had afros. So I says, "I gotta cut my hair." Says, "I can just cut your hair a little shorter, and you can pick it up. It'll be like you'll have a natural afro." So that's what I did.
I got this down. No need to iron anymore. I can rock this look.
Oh. Plus, one time I almost got my ear. You know how I knew? I heard the sizzling.
Sell the sizzle, not the steak.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Well, man, I got a house project going on here that I'm very excited about. I've got this I got a front porch to my house. And then there's this kind of side porch. But when I bought the house, has a wall and windows, really poorly constructed. I mean, it's up, it's sided. From the outside, it looks okay. From the inside, it's really some hideous construction. And because it's sided, I got nails coming through like right into this. It's a porch that looks like it's a hallway. And it really just becomes a catch-all for storage for all the winter stuff outside to go in there. And for 9 years, I've been trying to think about, what do I do with this space? I never really came up with anything I was excited about. My sweetheart, who was over one day, looked at this and she said, why don't you just take all that out and just make a wraparound farmer's porch? And I'd always been trying to add to it and try to figure stuff out. And hers was more like, go the other direction. Let's like minimalist, like take all this stuff out. I'm so excited about the potential of this. I don't know. I'm not a builder. I mean, so I called a friend of mine who's a builder and said, I got an idea. Come on over here and tell me if this is doable. So he showed up on a Saturday morning on his Harley. And I kind of told him what I was thinking. He goes, absolutely. You're just deconstructing what's already there. No problem. He says, in fact, you can do this on your own. Watch out for this and call me when you're done with all of that. So my son and I are having a blast because I got so excited about this project and visualizing what this is going to look like when we're done. This part, and the only tools I've used so far are a hammer and a crowbar that's about a 4-foot crowbar, and it's been a blast. And so I'll be jumping on that again this afternoon, and I think by today it's all going to be ripped out and done. And then I'm going to get those nice round posts, very New England farmhouse looking, the round post on the farmer's porch. And I'm excited. It's fun to get little projects going that you get excited about. And I woke up this morning thinking about it, like, I got to get this. This is exciting.
So you know what I got from that whole story? And I'll say it with a Boston accent. Your sweetheart is a keeper.
Keepah.
A keeper.
Keepah?
A keeper. And I know she is because you tell me about her, that she's a great woman.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, good for you.
It's spectacular. But I'm still just so like, I didn't ever think to like do less and make. And I'm like, we get so stuck in our own thinking, and maybe that's why it's important to have relationships in our lives, because we need other people's perspectives. I just did a whole presentation for a couple weeks ago. We were talking about that last time, but I really started off with this entire concept of perspective, because I've always really enjoyed in my life when my perspective gets changed on something, whether it's watching a movie, listening to music, talking to a friend, reading a book. You have a perspective change. For me, it's like refreshing. Like, oh, that's an interesting way to look at that.
So I got to tell you something else. So I actually have several people that I know that watch the podcast. And they say that they give us a good compliment because they say, you guys have just having a conversation. It's not like a specific subject or something. You just have a conversation. But it's interesting to listen to you guys. I can see you guys get along well and you're good friends, and it's interesting to listen to you guys. So there you go. Interesting conversation.
So then they don't know that. So they don't know that at 6 a.m. you email me saying, "Don't forget to talk about your new porch. Don't forget."
Well, it wasn't 6 a.m. It was 7:15 when I did it.
Oh.
All right. Next. For a drummer, you got great timing for a drummer.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Woo.
So when you're supposed to come in with a crash cymbal.
That's when they say, "How do you know a drummer's knocking at your door?" Does it speak?
I always thought it was.
Tempo speeds up. Get it?
Oh, see, I always thought it was like.
That was good.
See that? Sometimes when I knock on somebody's door, I actually do that. I go. And if they come back and I go, I know they're cool, so I can go see them.
Reminds me of in the college dorms just a few years ago. We used to have separate knocks to know, so you know who it was coming in.
Oh yeah.
Probably most people have done that in their lives, right?
So I had,
That's funny.
you might appreciate this because when we talked one time about saying that something is a no-brainer.
Oh yeah.
I had a guy knocked on my door. He was selling solar systems, solar panels.
Yeah.
I says, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it. He goes, well, you know what? If you listen to my presentation and everything we offer, it's a no-brainer. I said to him, I says, can I give you some advice as a salesman? I've been a salesman for 40 years. When you say it's a no-brainer, you're telling people that don't get involved in your project that they're stupid, that, that it's a no-brainer. So he says, ooh, I never thought of that. So instead saying, if you allow me to give you my presentation, I'll show you all the features and benefits and all the benefits to you. And once you see all the benefits, it'll be a very easy decision to go with it. Instead of saying a no-brainer. He goes, ooh, I like that. So I said, let's practice a couple times. He goes, I says, practice it on me. Do the same thing you just did before, but don't say no-brainer. He goes, okay. So I said, well, if we sit down and I show you some of the features and benefits of this program and how it would save you some money, it would really be an easy decision for you to make, I think. I said, see, that was much better, wasn't it? He goes, it was much better. So he was happy with my advice.
And then you said, now get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn.
Now get out of here. He didn't know whose door he knocked on that day, did he?
Before I said that, I went over to the side of the house and I grabbed the hose because I have this big hose.
Yeah.
So I said, get off my lawn. And I grabbed the handle and he skedaddled.
Skedaddle.
So there's some words for you today.
We got a couple new words. Last week it was hissy fit, skedaddle. Are we still trying to name this podcast? I think we are.
The no
Or it's just,
Tony and Michael, no hissy fit.
all skedaddle.
The no hissy fit zone.
I like we just call it the Tony and Michael hissy fit.
Ooh, wow. But then we'd have to have a hissy fit once in a while, or else they feel cheated.
Well, that's just a little play that there isn't one.
Oh.
Right? Now we got them.
The Tony and Michael no hissy fit zone podcast.
Oh, the NHZ. Or it'd be the NHFZ, because I was disappointed to find out that hissy fit was 2 words.
Wow.
I really wanted it to be 1 word. I thought that'd be a cool word, hissy fit, 1 word, but it's not.
Remember that song we used to sing, the A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Remember that song?
Yeah.
Do you know why that song exists?
To teach little kids the alphabet?
No, it's because that's the alphabet. No, I had a good joke about that, but I just forgot what it was. It was funny.
Bum. Oh no. Wah, wah.
Oh no, yeah.
And then wasn't it Sesame Street that came up with they would sound it out? I remember Big Bird, Abgi Dicka Jickamanaka Stewart's is.
Wow.
Remember that song?
No.
Oh, you better Google that along with Okeechobee whiskey. They're all good.
So remember one time we were talking about coming over to the States in language and stuff, and we didn't speak anything in English. So we all went to school except for my younger sister. She was too young to go to school. So we're at school trying to learn Spanish. I was trying to learn English. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
Oh.
That would be something.
I wonder if I did that a couple of years. And she was at home. My younger sister was at home watching Sesame Street.
Oh.
And she learned to speak English faster than we did.
Really?
Because she was just listening to that. She was singing along with them and stuff. And it's amazing.
I've heard that. I've heard that just like part of that immersion for language is just watching TV. I think a lot of people who came to the States who didn't speak English learned it by watching TV.
If you think about it, when you taught your son and daughter to speak, you weren't saying coffee cup. You just said, hey, grab me a coffee cup. So you went over and grabbed the coffee cup. They said, oh, that means something. So you started calling it a coffee cup. You didn't really teach them every single word, right?
Well, that's what I learned about the word vodka, because I said, bring me a coffee cup, and they have it vodka and that blow on it.
Oh, yeah.
Bring me a coffee cup full of vodka.
Wow. I have a story about vodka, but I can't do it on this show.
Wow, now I'm intrigued. Another show, another week, or is it just not appropriate for the Tony and Michael No Hissy Fit Zone podcast?
I'll have to tell you about it first off the show, and then you can see if you want me to put it on there or not.
Or it needs my approval?
Well, you have to see whether or not it's appropriate for our audience.
Oh, wow. Now they're all intrigued. Like they keep tuning back now to see if I ever show up with the shirt I talked about wearing. And now they're going to keep showing up to hear the vodka story. If we drop the vodka story the same day I have the shirt I'm supposed to be wearing at some point soon, that'll be a heck of a podcast.
So
that's when Rogan gets nervous.
At that Greg Billings show, there was a guy wearing a vest, like a biker vest.
Yeah.
And on the back, he had a word called dillygaff. Is that what it wrote? It's like, and I went over and I tapped him on, you know what that one is? I tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Sir, I used to have a T-shirt with that exact thing on my, I had it made back in the 70s. And everybody would work and say, what does that mean? I'd say, dillygaff. I said, what does that mean? Do I look like I give a fun or something, whatever.
And he had it patched onto his vest. That's funny.
It's funny, yeah. So he thought it was funny that I knew what it was.
It was the Dillygaff MC, the Dillygaff Motorcycle Club.
No, I just said dillygaff. I don't know what it was, but it's amazing all the Harleys over there. Wow. I'm telling you, there's probably 300.
And how many people at the show? How many people does this arena seat?
I would guesstimate 2,000 to 3,000.
A couple thousand. Nice.
All standing. There's no chairs anywhere. It's all standing room. It's like a big parking lot next to the restaurant. And I had to park most half a mile away because there was no way to park anywhere. So I had to go to the next street and go all the way down there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Glad you had fun. That's terrific. What's going on the weekend? Anything happening this weekend?
I don't know. No, I'm actually. I don't know if you remember last episode I was telling you about this guy that showed up at Silver King Brewery that I hadn't seen in a long time.
Oh yeah.
You know who it is? Remember you worked on his motorhome, or you did something with his motorhome, George.
Yeah.
So I
can picture the houses, and that's funny. Costa.
No, Cabral.
Oh, it was Cabral? Okay.
Yeah, but he passed away. He had cancer. And he passed away already.
Oh.
And then 3 months later, his other brother passed away. And today, I'm going to have lunch with one of his other brothers that's visiting down here in Florida. Crazy.
Wow.
When I go to lunch, I'm going to order some hot tea.
They say life is short and live every day.
I know, huh?
Don't doubt yourself with all the stuff you're trying to get done. Here's that shake. This morning. I love this one. Shakespeare. We're going to class this up right now. Ready? Our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt. Just makes me think about all the stuff I have not attempted in my life because of doubts I gave myself, self-doubts, and what could have been.
Yeah, but that quote deserves one of these.
Oh, I was getting closer. So people, continue the journey and don't doubt yourself and live with passion and do what you want to do and move doubt and live with a positive expectancy.
So sometimes when I was in sales and people couldn't make a decision, I'd say, if you really think about it, everything that you have in your life, everything you've ever done that's good, was because you made a decision at one point.
Yeah.
This is one of those things that you can make a decision on today. It's going to be a good thing for you, just like all the other things. Don't you
think? It all starts there.
I said, don't you think?
It all starts right there, too.
Yeah.
I think about that a lot. Like everything in our lives was an idea in someone's head before it became a reality.
Yeah. And if you decide not to, if you decide not to decide, you still made a decision. Where'd you get those lyrics from?
I recognize that. A great drummer once wrote something like that, didn't he?
A great drummer, yeah. Wow.
But that's cool. Like everything starts in the mind. Wow, it's powerful.
It's amazing.
And guess who gets to control what you think about?
So as you know,
Don't say the media. Don't say the media.
no, but even doing this podcast, I never had any ideas of doing a podcast. But one of my friends called me one time and says, "Hey, can I get together with you? You know, I'm thinking I want to buy a house or something." So we get down for breakfast. Uh, Everything, you know how I am. Every time he said something, I had a joke that went along with that. And he used to do comedy and he used to do some acting and stuff. So he loves comedy. So that's why I says, man, you amaze me because every time I say something, you have a joke that pertains to that. You know, that's. He says, how do you do that? I says, I don't know. My mind's just filled with jokes, and when you give me a trigger word, a joke pops up. So he says, I have this thing where I want to do a podcast, and I'm trying to find somebody to do a podcast with me. Would you want to do it? I said, well, yeah. I had no idea what to do. I thought he knew because he said he was going to do a podcast, but come to find out he knew nothing about it, or how to do it, or how to record it, or how to promote it, how to put it up on YouTube, or how to put it on the podcast things. He had no idea. So I'm the one that figured everything out for him. And then he had a hissy fit after 4 episodes. So that's why he's not here anymore. And you are. So if we say
that's why this is the no hissy fit zone.
The no hissy fit zone, I think that fits, man.
Oh, that's funny.
You even looked up the definition of hissy fit in the dictionary.
At first, I was surprised to find out it was a real word, and then I was disappointed to find out it was 2 words, as we said. But I still think it's a great name for a band.
Yeah, for the band, you can do it 1 word. The hissy fits, the night.
Although bands, I think in lots of cases, the name of the band kind of helps you understand what genre of music they might be playing, like Metallica. So Hissy Fit. So if there was a band named Hissy Fit, what kind of music would they be doing? I'm kind of picturing like a punk rock fit.
Punk rock with angry music.
Oh, Hissy Fit. I see what you did. That makes sense.
So even the Eagles, for example, when you hear the name Eagles, what's that genre? You have no idea. Some stupid
Correct.
Flying around.
Right.
So they
yeah. So see, that's true.
But
it's interesting how some band names really do give you a feel of what that's going to sound like.
Well, if you saw the name Oyster Bone, what would you think? What kind of music they play? They're not that good, so they only play covers.
Well, it's a good example of a band that doesn't give away their genre.
Whoa. They're holding on tight to the genre.
How's that for?
See, I just said it's not genre, it's genre.
Genre.
Who came up with that name?
It's a funny word.
That could be a good name for a band.
Genre
music.
What do you play? You won't believe it.
Believe it. So the first singer that we had that's no longer with us with tonal deficiency. Sometimes when you're at rehearsal, you're playing something and you start jamming. And, you just have a good time. You go off on different things. Everybody jams. Everybody throws in a part and it all fits. Because he was a singer, there was nothing for him to do. So he'd get mad at us because we're playing in the way he's not included. I said, grab a tambourine and dance, man. Do something. Why are you mad? We're having a good time. You should be enjoying it. But he didn't.
Ego. I remember hearing that story. I forget who I first heard this, but they were referring to LSD, lead singer's disease.
Wow.
Yeah, it's big out there. I have a friend of mine. I haven't talked to this guy in years, but he worked at a music store. And the drum rep who would come into the store to sell them drums he was a Mapex drum rep. Phenomenal drummer out there named Greg Bissonette, who plays Mapex. At the time, he played Mapex drums. And he told him the story back when Van Halen had broken up and David Lee Roth started. I guess they called it the David Lee Roth Band. But Greg was playing drums for him. It was a phenomenal band. Billy Sheen bass, and I think it was Steve Vai on guitar.
Wow.
Phenomenal band. But again, it was like the lead singer's disease. He was telling my buddy who worked at the music store that they had to have 2 tour buses, one for David Lee Roth by himself and the other for the rest of the band because no one could stand hanging out with him.
I wanted that for Oyster Bone for myself. So the guys chipped in and they bought me a 72 VW bus.
But you had it to yourself.
So talking about singers and stuff, the singer for Oyster Bone, Mike Trotto, is an awesome singer, number one.
Really yes, he is. He's got a great voice.
Real good guitar player. And he does the most work out of everybody in the band. He does the most work for all. I mean, he's just an amazing guy.
How's his ego?
Awesome. He's just a good guy. He really is.
Nice.
Yeah.
No lead singer's disease over there. No LSD in the band. Nice.
No, he's really good. He sets up more equipment than we do. He carries more equipment than we do, and he's just sets up the set list, all that stuff. I mean, he's just an amazing guy.
That's awesome.
And he's a neighbor too.
Hmm.
Probably about 300 yards from me.
Is that right?
You think he would come here and watch the podcast live, but no.
More importantly, is he a viewer of the podcast?
I don't know.
All right, can you please cover up that oyster bone sign? We're done with that promotion until he starts watching.
Oh boy.
Oh, awesome.
Whoa,
I have to go. I'm having lunch with my niece and nephew today.
hold on, my tea's getting hot.
I understand. I do. You mean your tea is too hot to drink? That's what you mean.
Yeah, too hot to drink.
Having lunch with my niece and nephew today. 16 years old. They live about a half hour away. And then I got a porch to go deconstruct.
How old are they?
14 and 16.
Wow.
If you were paying attention, you would have just heard me say that.
No, just making sure that you remembered. Because sometimes people say something they don't.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, so it's fun. That'll be nice. High school, it's a whole different perspective again of what's going on in people's lives. Fascinating.
Yeah.
I go take apart the side of my house. Very psyched. I'll send you some pictures.
Yeah, we've hit the 1 hour mark anyway, so we need to cut this off.
All right. Continue the journey, my friends.
Well, let's practice one more time with the timing here.
One more time. Don't you forget about me.
Wow.
Have a great week, buddy. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. It was good. See you.
See you soon.
I got to send you that thing so you can rehearse a few times at home.
Uh-oh.
It actually ends quicker than you think. Watch. You see what I mean?
I do indeed.
One more time. Let's do it.
Hold on.
I actually don't
Have a
believe,
great one.
I don't believe you're a drummer. I just don't.
It's true of a lot of people.
Bye, Mike, man. See ya.
See you soon, pal.
You're the best.
You too. Talk to you soon.
Forget it, man. All right. I'm in this. Okay, one more time.